Life's too short to drive boring cars, baby. Customer loyalty programs take many shape and forms. You have access to your airport lounges, invites to golfing events, to Michelin-starred dinners, to movie screenings, which is all good and great. But us enthusiasts, we want to drive, and increasingly car manufacturers, especially the luxury premium car manufacturers, are doing driving events as a way of generating even more customer loyalty. And trust me on this is the finest of them all. This is the Audi Ice Driving Experience in Finland, and in the last quarter of last year, all customers of RS Audis as well as the 8 got an invite to this event. That's where we are, and in this video, we're going to tell you what you can experience and how you can be a part of this experience. So stick around, watch this video, and of course, if you enjoy this video, give us a shout out, share this video with like-minded enthusiasts, and stick around because there's going to be a lot of drifting in this video. This is Audi's Hammer wagon. It traces its lineage back to the RS2 of 1994, which was co-developed with Porsche, and it is a true icon of our times. It was followed up with a V6, then a naturally aspirated V8, a glorious engine, and now it's back to the V6 but assisted by twin turbochargers. This car is fast, but I won't waste my time telling you how much we enthusiasts love estates, and please bring estates, because fact of the matter is that in India, nobody buys estates, and that's why Audi is not going to bring the RS4 Avant to India. But in all other intents and purposes, the RS5 Sportback, which we have in India, is similar to the RS4 Avant. It's got the same platform, the same engine, so all the driving impressions that we're going to talk about in this video stand true for the RS5 as well, except the RS5 has got a much smoopier coupe body style. So here goes. The motor is the 2.9 litre V6, which is derived from the 3 litre V6 that you have on the Q7, the Q8, the A8. It's been downsized slightly. The turbos, 2 turbos, they sit in the V of the V, the hot V as they call it. And this is a mighty motor. Power remains the same as the earlier NA V8 engine, 444 bhp, but you got a boatload more torque, 600 Newton meters, which peaks at just 1900 RPM, and that stays flat till around 5400 RPM. So you got a big fat torque curve. I'm doing 40 kilometers per hour. I've got it in 3rd gear, and I can just play with the throttle. There is just so much of torque that getting the tail out, powering out of these corners is just so easy. And speaking about power bands, the peak power, that comes at 5700 RPM, and that stays until 6700 RPM. And when you floor it, it sounds superb. So you can drive it in 2nd gear, bang against the rev limiter, but that just makes things very spiky. So it's better to just leave it in 3rd and ride the wave of torque. Keep it smooth. Now, like all RS cars, the RS4 also has the RS mode that's out here on the steering wheel. I've got an RS1 where I've set the suspension and the engine and transmission to comfort mode. Just keep things easy so that you can concentrate on driving the cars, not straight, but extremely sideways. 4-wheel drifts. This is what Audis really do. Now, this obviously has the Quattro system. Quattro is what gets you around this ice racetrack fast, very fast. Now, unlike the earlier Quattro systems, which we said had massive amount of grip and traction, but it lacked a bit in terms of playfulness, here on the road, you have a slightly more rear bias to give it that rear wheel feeling. But in conditions like this, up to 75% of the torque can be sent to the rear axle. So you can get the tail to slide out. Basically, turn the car on the throttle. We get to this tighter corner. So you just use the throttle to play, to just get it out, get it to slide. And in the tighter corners, up to 85% of the torque can be sent to the front axle to pull you out of the corner and make sure you don't spin out. Like out here, tight hairpin. Just use it and feed in the power, keep feeding the power. And you use that extra power, the torque that is sent to the front axle to pull you out while you're drifting around the hairpin. The RS4 has got the optional sport differential, so that again makes a lot of difference in your ability to carry a drift on the power. You can feed in the power, and you can carry on the drift. That's the sport differential at work. Now, this is not a road test, so I won't bore you with all the road testy stuff. But one thing that I do want to point out is that the ergonomics, Audi's ergonomics, are just so well sorted out that over here, you just don't have the mind space to look around for things. And that's why having these physical buttons, especially the windshield defogger, that's out here. Your wipers are over here. Basically, you just don't have to take your eyes off the track, just focus on the driving, and you just know where everything else is. This is what the Audi Ice Driving Experience teaches you. Car control. Let the car dance to your tunes. Look at where you want to go through the side window and just play with the car. So there are a couple of techniques associated with making a car drift on ice. The first and most important is weight transfer. Every time you brake, you accelerate, you shift the weight of the car, and then you use that to your advantage to make the car slide, to go completely sideways through this hairpin. So weight transfer, that's one. Every time I go into a corner, I use the brakes a little bit to get more weight onto the nose. Make sure that the nose is pointing at the apex. Forget about the back end of the car. Back end of the car, you control it. The nose needs to be at the apex. Weight transfer, brake, nose into the apex, then kick the tail out. Use the sport differential to oversteer the rear axle, and then play with the throttle. I'm in third gear. I'm using 60 kilometers per hour. There's so much of torque with this 2-liter twin-turbo V6 engine that third gear is enough. And then gas, 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 gas. Look where you want to go. Always look where you want to go. If you look at the snowbank, you will be in the snowbank. So look where you want to go. Feel what the car is doing. Your backside is very important here because your backside tells you what the car is doing. So listen to what the car is doing. Play with the throttle. A mistake that I'm doing even right now, and what the instructors point out, is that I'm moving my hands too much on the steering wheel. Thing is that it takes a bit of time for old habits to get unlearned. I'll let you in on a secret. I think it was 12 years ago or 13 years ago that I did my first ice driving experience with Audi. That's where I learned the Scandinavian flick. True story. That's where I learned it. And after that, I realized that, okay, I had some sort of skill, and more importantly, I enjoyed doing this so much that is what inspired me to get into full-time rallying. So all those trophies on my shelf, Audi had a huge role to play. I never rallied an Audi, never good enough for that, but the Audi Ice Driving Experience taught me the basics and lit that fire under my ass. And here, unlike a track, if you go off, you just have the snowbanks. At the max, you call for the tractor driver punches your card, so they know how many times you've been pulled out, and there's no fine or anything like that. It's just a kind of game that they play here. You don't damage the car, you don't hurt your ego, everybody goes off because you are learning. If you don't go off means you haven't pushed to your limit. This sliding on ice business, how does it help you in the real world? I'll tell you how. It teaches you car control, and it hardwires into you reflexes and reactions. So on the road, if you get into a sticky situation, an avoidance maneuver will come naturally to you. Split-second reactions, they don't give you time to think it through. You have to make it immediately. And that is what's going to get you out of trouble. And in India, there are a million instances where you'll have some sort of nonsense where you will have to react instantly. And Audis can dance, Audis can slide. You really need a low grip surface for all of that. But if anybody tells you Audis can't dance, send them the link to this video. And don't forget to give us a shout out. Make sure you subscribe to the Evo India channel, because this channel is all about enthusiasm, driving enthusiasm, having fun with your cars. Life's too short to drive boring cars, baby. So that's the Audi Ice driving experience for you. Up until now, only RS and A8 customers were invited to this event. But Audi India is now contemplating opening up to all their Audi owners. So if you buy an Audi in this year, you will be invited to come and be a part of it. Obviously, it's going to cost you approximately 4 lakh rupees plus your flights. But I can tell you, this experience is like no other. So save yourself a bit of cash this year, pick up one of these Audis, and next year you could be here in Finland, freezing your ass off but having the time of your life.